So this is a 1996 Submariner date. Obviously original, and Rolex purists will always make you confirm that it's a Submariner date and that the original Submariner came without a date. Again, this would be supplied with a full set as well, and in terms of Rolex and classic Rolex, I mean, this is probably one of the most sought after watches in the world and the most popular watches in the world.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, it's just the black dial, the black face, it's just magnificent. So this watch that we're looking at is in really fantastic condition. Has it gone through a polish?
Whether they have had previous polishes in their life or the amount that they've had, it's not like a car where you get paperwork with servicing work and everything. It's, although supplied, it's very rare that they are kept with sets when they are eventually sold to us or through us. What we do look out for is obviously clear signs of over polishing, but when you're getting to a watch of this age now, which is what's really coined as sort of neo vintage, and very quickly approaching vintage, we try to keep them sort of as original as possible unless absolutely necessary.
So you won't polish a watch unless there's some serious damage that needs to be taken care of?
Well, it very much depends on the year of watch as well, but for something like this, you'll find that, again, collectors tend to look for, you know, minor sort of imperfections to the bezel, which you can see in front of you, or, you know, the bracelets. They sometimes can tell a bit of a story, they add a bit of character to the watch, and as you start to approach vintage status with watches, originality sort of starts to become a bit key in the value of the watch itself.
So here's a question for you. If one were to find on the secondary market a watch like this and the black paint here had nicks on it or scratches, would you be of the opinion you leave that untouched, or would you replace it with
with something like this? We always, when they come in, we always decide to keep them as they are. I think you can see there the lume pearl at the top has started to patina really nicely, and we have to assume that's an original bezel insert that was supplied with the watch in 1996. Again, it very much depends on the kind of buyer you are. Again, we touched on it with the dates which we spoke about earlier as well, with vintage watch collecting being such an individual thing, and different people looking for different iterations of dials and bezels and years for these watches, because it was obviously made in a bit of an era towards the end of an era where Rolex sort of chopped and changed different parts throughout the model's production run. So if you take a 50th anniversary Kermit, for example,
yes,
it was started production in 2003 and sort of ended 2009-ish to 10. There are about five different bezel insert variations you can choose from. But most famously being the Mark 1, the flat 4, but then working its way through the Mark 3, you kind of have a more sort of olive colour bezel to it. Coins, I believe, the Bertolli as well. And then obviously moving back towards the sort of Rolex sort of darker green towards the end of its production run again. But with something like this, the value will always come down to originality and also the set it's applied with. So again, the watch you have in front of you, it has, I mean, its original box, papers. You know, at the time it would have been the guarantee certificates. That's you know, got the punch serial, and again, it's even got, I believe, the original calendar that was supplied with it as well.
Wow. So, how do these watches value today? How do you see their pricing?
Condition plays a big part in it as well, and the set it's supplied with. They do tend to range. If I have a look at other examples that are available, we do have quite a few. That one, I mean, I believe is currently about 7,495, but that can range from sort of very early sevens all the way up to 9.5 to 10, and then if you take something that's new old stock that might even have a few original stickers remaining on it that's never been worn, that can be even more.
That's an absolutely beautiful watch. Now, where does the price point break as you go from this dial to ceramic dial? Where's the crossover at price on ceramic?
So ceramics can start, I would say off the top of my head, sort of late 8s for an early 116610 LN reference, which is the ceramics update.
Yes.
And then that can range, I think current, if you were to buy a 2025 example pre-owned, you could be looking at sort of 11.5 to 12.
Okay, so you say high eights is where you're going to cross over to the ceramic high eights. So what year is that? We're talking about 02 or 03?
No, we're talking ceramic.
Ceramic dot, yeah.
2011.
Oh, 11.
2012.
Okay. It was 2011 where they switched.
Yeah, so they, again, pre-ceramic watches, the Submariners in particular, ran until there was officially 2009 to 10, but there was always a bit of a crossover as well, where you could get a slightly later card from even potentially 2011.
Wow.
And again, something like that is very special because when you're collecting in terms of future values,
yes,
although not necessarily, everyone's sort of motivation for buying these watches, you do kind of want to start to look at either one of the first, which something like that would be, or one of the last.
Okay, one of the first or the last, yeah. Absolutely fascinating. What a gorgeous watch. And then what about the date versus no date? Does that affect price?
Yes, it does. Less so now than it did, let's say 5 years ago or so.
Okay.
I think there was a very clear premium to be paid for a sub-date versus a non-date. Although, again, I think more so recently, people have started to appreciate on the non-date the more sort of simple, minimalist kind of view to it.
My watch, that's how I went.
Yep, yeah, exactly. And I also think that if you are a purist, a real Rolex purist, you will always sort of gravitate towards the non-date, as that is, as I touched on earlier, the kind of the original Submariner.
Yes.
But that being said, and as much as I love them, I've also spoken with clients and a few of us who work here who cannot wear a watch without a date.
Okay. So it comes down to personal
and
preference.
if you go sort of non-date again and vintage, you go slightly older. I mean, you can get some really, really lovely sort of 5513 examples of non-dates with, again, various different dial variants, and the earlier ones having sort of a more sort of matte painted lume finish, with the later examples sort of having more modern sort of glossy finish with looms that are in white gold surrounds or gold surrounds.
Today, for Submariners, is there one color that is far more demand than any other color?
Well, you don't really have a lot to choose from in terms of colours and Submariners. You're talking about dials and bezels. And,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, in stainless steel, you historically have always had obviously black with black ceramic or black pre-ceramic, and then with the more modern Kermits as well for the pre-ceramics as well, which is the green bezel with the black dial.
Yes.
Again, with the one iterations, the first ceramic Submariners they ever produced, you would again have classic black dial, black bezel, but you would also have what became coined as the Hulk,
yes,
which was the green on green.
Yeah.
And when they first came out, they were not very popular, and then I think sort of achieved a bit of a status pre-owned a few years after production.
So
and then in terms of sort of modern day and what you actually have available now, again, I haven't really touched on the bimetal Submariners as well, which are also available at a very similar time as well, pre-ceramic.
Right.
They were blue dials with a blue bezel, but obviously stainless steel and yellow gold.
Right.
And currently in production, you have what's now known as the Starbucks, some like to call it, which is a black dial with a ceramic green bezel.
Right. So what I find interesting is that the two-tone watches are not that much different than the stainless steels, even though they have gold content.
In terms of pricing?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the stainless steel can be worn by more people on the whole. I think it's as a daily wearer.
Yeah. So despite the fact that it has less, what's the word? A melt value, for lack of a better word. It's just that for the design, I guess, and I guess not wanting to attract attention on the street.
Yeah, and I also think originally it was a tool watch, and I think if you are again a purist or again someone who just doesn't really wear gold, you
prefer this,
gravitate towards the stainless steel. Yeah.
So is it a correct observation that there is not that much of a price difference between them?
Not on. There is a price difference. You see it more with modern Rolex than you do with slightly older ones.
Yes.
Because again, with slightly older Rolexes, you actually end up in a situation with something like this. It's in front of you, neo vintage. It very much comes down to condition as well.
Right.
Stainless steel is harder wearing than gold, so of that era, you'll find that stainless steel examples are in slightly better condition.
Fantastic. Could you give me a summary on Bloombar Watches, your business model, and how you help collectors and investors source lovely watches?
Okay. Bloombar Watches as a company has been around for 15 years now. We've always prided ourselves on having a very old school, sort of discreet approach to watch dealing and watch collecting in general. Over the years, we built up some really fantastic relationships with some clients that have been with us from the very start. And it's something that, again, we really take pride in.
What would be your number 1, number 2, number 3 brands?
Okay, so I think if you were to ask, especially in the UK, any sort of pre-owned watch dealer, what their top 3 brands are, it's going to be the big 3. It's going to be Rolex, Patek, AP.
That's
always.
Okay.
We, again, have clients that not only are interested in those brands, and as a company, as a team, we are also interested in other brands such as Omega, JLC, Cartier, just to name a few. We try to have, watches at any one time from all major luxury Swiss watchmakers.
Right. So your customers, is it primarily come in, meet face to face, see the watches in person?
For a long time, it was very much face to face. We have a large online presence as well. And again, there are a lot of deals that are done over the phone or via the website or whatever it was. But for a long time, it was people wanted to see these watches in person. And I think the big change came, as we all know, from from lockdown and COVID. And I think the way that a lot of, not only watch dealers, but I think in general, the world kind of changed. The way that businesses actually did business changed a little bit as well with it. It also helps. We've been around for a very long time now. We have a faultless reputation with clients and online as well. And I think with these kinds of watches, you need a bit of an element of trust, and that goes a long way.
You're right. Well, I mean, the showroom here is lovely. As I say, it's discreet. If somebody's coming to buy watches, these are expensive items. There's just other locations here in London where it's extremely public.
Yep.
And there's just all the concerns that go with that.
Yeah,
so, and that's not an issue here. And you guys know your stuff. You can find lovely watches for people. And it's just a very, very nice atmosphere. A lovely place to come and talk watches, meet you guys, and buy, sell, trade watches.
Yeah, we are very happy if you'd like to buy a watch today or sell us a watch, or for whatever reason. But if you're in the area, you just want to pop in and have a talk about watches, I mean, we're all more than happy to.
Right. So what's the best way for somebody just to essentially make a phone call and make an appointment? I think you're appointment only.
We are appointment only. A lot of the watches that we sell online, we keep off site, which is why we are appointment only. It gives us enough time to get the watches ready. And if you ever wanted to book an appointment, please give us a call, send us an email, and we'd be more than happy to accommodate you.
And you're available essentially at regular business hours, Monday to Friday?
Monday to Friday officially. We are pretty much round the clock here.
Terrific. Well, I very much appreciate your help, and great to meet you guys. And I really hope that people will come and say hello, have it and talk watches with you guys, and wheel and deal watches, because that's what it's all about. Expanding our collections, making new networks, and making new friends.
That's what it's all about.
It's been wonderful. I very much appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you guys next when I'm in London.